First of all, I want to start this video by sending all the prayers and all the support to people whose lives were affected by, the hurricane. Um, so, you know, pretty much my whole life with basketball, even starting, young as a kid in elementary and, you know, after school leagues and kind of just playing for fun at that point. Um, even though towards you it was competitive, even though for you it was competitive, it was still fun for everyone else and just something to do and something to stay active, you know. But for me, it was always more than that, It was always hoop dreams. It was always all or nothing. Simply put, Um, Finishing up at my junior college, as I explained in volume 2, and doing my research and my groundwork to transfer and find a university to play for. And, like I mentioned before, I wasn't really concerned about going somewhere big time. I just really wanted to go somewhere where I'm going to be able to play right away, make an impact right away, and just be accepted and embraced, right away. And when when I was in that process of looking for schools and talking to different coaches and talking to different schools, you know, coaches will tell you pretty much anything to get you to come, and play for their program. If they really want you and they really feel like you can make a difference and bring a championship to the school, a lot of coaches, they'll show you, you know, better than they can tell you how much they want you at their program and how much they cherish you and respect you and um, value you, just for who you are as a person first, and that ultimately is what made me, influenced me, I should say, to make my decision to transfer, to the school that I chose to transfer to. And it was just the genuine sincerity that the head coach himself showed towards me. You know, um, I remember at the time when I was still finishing up my second year at JUCO, um, the head coach himself actually came and picked me up and drove me back. Now, the drive from where I was currently to the new school was at least 2.5, almost 3 hours. So he came all the way down to pick me up personally. Didn't send a recruiter, didn't send a scout, didn't send a assistant coach, the assistant trainer, like he himself came and picked me up, as well as another uh, future player and teammate. You know, um, so that right there spoke volumes to me, and that right there meant a lot. You know, it definitely showed me that I had support and I would have someone in my corner, basketball aside, you know. And when he came and picked me up, and like I told you, he was also picking up another future prospect, player, teammate, you know, whatever. And he was actually a freshman coming in, and I was, of course, a sophomore transferring to be a junior the next following year. So, you know, coach came and picked us up and drove us all the way back to school, and all the way upstate New York, man. And you know, getting to the school, I already had some sort of familiarity with the area. Not only did we play a JUCO that was up there, you know, for the past 2 years, but and absolutely torched, by the way. Um, Not only did we play them for the last 2 years, but you know, my older sister actually attended this school, this college, this university, years prior to me going to the school. So that was kind of coincidence and ironic in itself. And you know, just having a little bit of history there is also what helped influence me to, you know, make my decision on transferring. So once we got there and the visit was, you know, on, you know, meeting all the guys and seeing the campus, meeting the coaches, um, watching the guys play pickup. I wasn't able to play pickup on this particular visit because I was actually recovering from the season, you know, and my knee, my patella tendon was just so sensitive and fragile at the time. It was just ran through both my knees, man. Just ran through after the season that year. So I didn't in, participate in any pickup on that particular visit, but it was just interesting to see the guys play, see personalities, attitudes, and characters, you know, just feeling everyone out, seeing what everyone was about, you know. Um, but it wasn't really until, you know, being around those guys and seeing those guys off the court is where, you know, you really got to see where guys were really at, guys' real mindset, guys' real intentions, guys' hearts, you know, is unfortunate those ways and those traits would carry over into the locker room, practice, onto the court, you know. But of course, at first, you know, everything seemed like everything. Of course, at first, everyone was, you know, embracing and welcoming and yeah, bro, come here, bro. You know, come to this school, bro. Come play with us, bro. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. And what, you know, which I had every intentions on doing just that, bringing, you know, championship to the school, because coach also was telling me at the time that we had a Division II transfer also coming in, and who also was a going to be a junior and who also was very talented. So he was just making a very strong case that like if he can get us both there to together, that next following year that we can really make a run and do some damage and do some things, and that we did. So it was very after that visit, and like I said, after coach coming and picking us up and then taking us all the way back, after that I was pretty much had my mind made up on where I was gonna go. You know, what's interesting though is I initially had verbally committed to another school, a D2 in Georgia. I had verbally committed there, and prior to that, I had went on a visit there as well, and that experience just was not the best experience. Um, it was very, very different to say the least. I was not comfortable, and I don't think I would have been focused if I had went to that school. If I had went through and went to that school, I don't think I would have been focused. I don't think I would have been safe. I don't think I would have been successful. I don't think I would have like nothing. I don't think anything would have really been went well if I would have went to that school. And it's just unfortunate that our people are in such turmoil on so many different levels that we can't always be organized or always be structured or always be the best for each other, to say the least. um so that experience, that decision quickly went out the window, especially after I came across coach and, like I said, pretty much just was shown the utmost hospitality and genuine care. I really, really appreciated that. So I want, I really just got my sights and my vision and my mind locked in on there, you know. Um, so at the time, I was actually in Georgia for that summer. Summer going into my junior year, I was actually in Georgia, and I was driving up in my old school '92 Camaro. I was gonna drive. I was driving up from Georgia all the way upstate New York in my '92 Camaro, and it was summertime, August. It was very hot outside. I had all my things in my back seat, in my front seat, pretty much all my clothes. Um, I was visiting my sister, so I had stopped in Virginia, which was almost halfway. I stopped in Virginia to visit my older sister for a night, stayed the night, got some sleep, got back on the road the next day, and got maybe 2.5 hours away from her house going north, and my fuel pump went out. Now, let me stop right there because, like I mentioned before, how genuine and sincere and supportive coach was, he showed it to me in this trip. And that's the only reason why I'm even bringing up this trip. So, boom, car shuts off on the highway, y'all. And I'm just like, oh, what the hell is going on, man? Couldn't imagine what happened, you know. Car wouldn't start back up. Trying, couldn't imagine. So I get a tow to the nearest shop, of course. And of course, you know, long story short, they were not able to repair the car that day or night. I had to stay the night so they can have the car, you know, fixed and repaired by morning, and I can get back on the road and go. That job at that time, this was what, 2012, 20, yeah. That job for that car at that time with parts and labor came to about $600, $700. No one in my family nor me had that kind of money at that time laying around ready to just dispose on car repairs. When coach found out what happened, what was going on, and what the deal was, he came out of pocket and paid for everything. And when I tell you that meant like the world to me, that a coach would just be so willing to do that and help you out in a moment of just distress, man, and feeling stranded and just not knowing what to do, which way to go. So the next day, sure enough, they repaired the car, and I was on the road right back in the Camaro. V-line, straight upstate to school. Got to school, got to campus late at night, but sure enough, there's the head coach and the assistant coach waiting for me, welcoming me, embracing me, helping me get all my stuff out the car, up to the dorm, just knowing the crazy long trip I just took and had to overcome to get up there. So we, we get, you know, I get adjusted, get situated in my dorm, whatever, boom, you know. Before you know it, training, preseason training starts, preseason workouts, preseason conditioning, all that. And before you know it, the season is starting. Before you know it, you know, we're getting jerseys. Before you know it, we're taking pictures. Before you know it, we're taking drug tests for the NCAA, doing signing all kind of paperwork and stuff, like just doing all that, going through all that process, getting our classes situated, all that, man. This was my first like time being on a university campus, so it was like, you know, things at JUCO was a little different because, you know, you're not living on campus, you know, you're living off campus. So, you know, it was cool getting the whole dorm experience and getting the whole campus experience, and, you know, everyone knowing who you are because you're a student athlete, and You know, everyone knows everyone, especially the athletes. You know what I'm saying? Cool experience, and it was fun because we were winning. It was fun because we were winners. You know, it was fun because we were making noise. The only thing, like I said, it was just it was so much off the court crap and locker room crap and female drama crap that didn't make it fun at times. You know, if that makes sense. It was it was hard going from being the star player of the team and the number one guy 2 years in a row, big man on campus, if you will, quote unquote, 2 years in a row, to a team that is so stacked and so talented that you had no choice but to get on board, buy in, play your role, and accept whatever time you get, and accept whatever role you do get, and just be ready to go. And that's exactly what I had to do. As much as I did not like coming off the bench behind underclassmen, it was like we were so talented and we were so deep that, and we were winning, that it was something I was willing to accept and sacrifice at the time. Now, as the season went on and towards the end, my mindset on that kind of changed when one of our top guys got injured towards the end of the year. One of our underclassmen, a few of our underclassmen started showing their asses a little bit with their personalities and their attitudes. And there wasn't really no um, repercussions or consequences. It was kind of like overlooked or not really handled or dealt with. But I felt like it was because it was just to keep things cool and to keep things, you know, copacetic or whatever. But that's not something I wanted to deal with or be around or be a part of, especially if my success was going to make others uncomfortable and feel a certain way and start giving me the evil eye, if that makes sense. You know, I didn't want to baby no one or babysit no one or be around someone that's being babied. I didn't want to play behind people I didn't feel like deserved having a player like me playing behind them, if that makes sense. You know, having to come in with the backup point guard. Now, mind you, like me and the player I was telling you about earlier, that coaches was trying to, get us to come together and collaborate with. If me and that, if me and that starting point guard would have played more minutes together, it's it's scary to think about what we would have done that year and then next year if I would have came back, if I would have returned for my senior year. But me having to come off the bench and play with a backup point guard really hindered and really slowed up anything I was really able to do. And everything I did do, I pretty much had to do on my own. or go and get. If it was shooting threes every time my hands touched the ball, that's what I did. If it was going in there and grabbing 7 to 8 rebounds in one half, that's what I did. Like it was do as much damage with what I had to work with, but it was enough to put us over the top, you know, getting that much firepower and that much spark off the bench from a starter quality player, I truly believe is what put us over the top that year, especially with when one of our top guys got hurt um, late in the season, which was devastating because it was late in the season when that happened, and we really could have used him that year. On the floor. But very interesting, unfortunate way things ended. When that happened, when that injury happened, it was just very unexpected, and but we had to adjust. But it was just certain things that I saw that just when it came to personnel, decision making, substitutions, and lineups and rotations, it just, and if it's selfish of me to think or feel that way, then it is what it is. But at the same time, I know what I was able to bring and contribute, and it just wasn't being exploited or really used. And to this day, if I would have stayed in school instead of leaving and joining the army and all that, if I would have decided to stay in school, I would have most definitely have transferred. I would have most definitely had transferred. And I would have most definitely had shown and proved just exactly what I was capable of and my capabilities. And it would have just been no denying, you know. And like I said, it was more so the personalities and the mindsets and the attitudes that really, I guess you can say, dampened my optimism and my decision on returning the next year, but I think to this point, to this day, it it shows me that there's life after sports, and there's more to life than sports. But one thing sports does do to you is it helps you to adjust, and it helps you to overcome trials and battles and whatever life throws your way. It helps you to learn how to coexist amongst anyone. You know, there isn't a coworker you can't deal with or handle after you done had to deal with the craziest and wildest teammates in your life. It's like it's unfortunate that so many young black boys come from fatherless, unstructured, undisciplined homes, and households. And because of this, so many talented, strong, athletic, young black teenage boys grow up with all of these internal emotional issues, and the only outlet they have is sports most of the time. So whatever it is they're going through in their life and going through at home is going to come out wherever they're engaging in emotions, and that is sports. You know, a lot of people, a lot of black boys were never shown any type of unconditional love, any type of unconditional support, and I feel like, you know if you're not going to be able to display something or show something that was never displayed or shown to you, you're never going to be able to give something that was never given to you. You know, um, so what happens is they just grow up. We just grow up, and nothing really changes, or nothing really heals, or nothing really grows, or progresses. It just kind of like gets stunted and frozen there. So no type of emotional intelligence or emotional awareness or emotional growth is happening. You're just getting older, and before you know it, we're in, you know, sports, we're in jobs, we're in the military, we're in wherever, relationships, parenting, but we still have the same level of emotional awareness. We still have the same level of, you know, but it's not just a black boy thing. It's also Napoleon syndrome thing, and a racial thing as well on the other side of the spectrum. Because I was also dealing with a 4'3" short man complex as well. That exists amongst men in general, black, white, yellow, brown, red, don't even matter. That is very cancerous to any organization or any program or any team or any relationship. Oh man, and having to play with someone that's not trying to see you do good or shine can be very, very detrimental, not only to your success on the court, but just your mental. You know, when you don't have the same heart as somebody, when you don't have the same heart as the people that are around you, that shit can be very, very tormenting. That shit can be very, very discouraging. That shit can be very, very belittling. Like it's just a shitty feeling to always feel like no one feels the way you do. Does that make sense? It's like it's a shitty feeling to always feel like you're being outcasted or alienated or hated on or side-eyed and evil-eyed simply because of who you are and what you can do and what you do. You know, uh, to all the young guys watching this, man, when you get to school and you start playing ball and going to class and yo, just play ball and go to class. Don't worry about the like. If you dealing with a chick or you dealing with a shorty, like just deal with one. And but you know what I'm saying? Because it's like deal with one or don't deal and or don't deal with none. And don't even deal with one that's going to distract you or hold you back or bear you away or bear off. Yo, just play ball, go to the gym, work out, get shots up. Just try to do whatever you can to keep yourself distracted. Not distracted, but focused. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I know it's hard, it's so much easier said than done in this video, cell phone, digital, technological era that we're living in with all this social media and everything, man. But I'm telling you, you are going to have to lock in now more than ever. More than ever. It's like everything is different now. You got people constantly monitoring you, watching you. You know, thank God social media and everything it wasn't what it is now today. Back when I was, that's when it was just first coming up. And even then, it's like, you know, people was just, I don't know, man, weird with the social media thing, but nothing like it is now. Nothing like it is now. So that's why I'm saying like this has to. It was like 12 years ago already. You know, develop yourself in every way you can imagine. Take advantage of every resource you have on campus. You know, this is something I wish I had someone telling me, man. Like, I know you're young, I know you're horny, and I know it's hard not to want to deal with a woman, but at this time in your life, I I wish I had someone telling me this at this time in my, at this time in your life. This is the best time to focus, lock in, and start to build yourself now. So, 10, 15 years from now, you will be in a position to where you don't have to ask nobody for nothing. You don't have to um, owe nobody nothing. You don't have to have no one like giving you nothing. Like you'll be in a place where you are stable, secure, solidified, and able to do whatever you want to do, and don't have children. If I'm telling you right now, if you have hoop dreams and you're trying to do something with basketball, if you have a child, it's over. It's over. It's like it's over, man. People don't realize how much a child changes your life, and people don't realize how much you are gonna have to give yourself to that child. You know, if you don't plan on being a shitty parent, you know, you don't realize how much you're gonna have to give and sacrifice yourself to that child once that child is in this world. And you know, time doesn't stop. The child's gonna continue to grow and develop, and you're gonna have to be there every step of the way. So it's like you're either gonna do that and be on top of that, or you're just simply not. So I just advise you just don't do it at all until you're ready. You know, don't do it at all until you get yourself where you want to be in life and stable. Because a lot of guys make the mistake of just having a kid or two, and their life just turns into an absolute disaster, and they just be wishing they never went down that path, bro. I'm telling you, man. Listen, if you only knew the stress level and the level of misery some guys are in right now because of child support and baby mama drama. And bro, let me tell you something. It ain't nothing like having the courts hovering over you. You don't, you know what I'm saying? You do not want that. You do not want the courts monitoring your paychecks, monitoring what you're doing, where you're working, how you living. You do not want these people in your business, bro. And having a woman, a bitter, scorned woman that's using them to make your life a living hell, you do not want that life, bro. I'm telling you. So just think before you act, please. Um, with that being said, it was like there were so many times I felt like I had to think my way out of certain situations and predicaments, you know. And one of the biggest decisions I made was deciding not to return the next year, deciding not to come back to drama and um, chaos, you know. And it was a really bittersweet thing because we had a very successful year. We went um, to the NCAA March, you know, we went to the NCAA tournament and we went to the second round. And we hosted the first round. We hosted our first game, playing game was at home. And that was an amazing experience. That was an amazing atmosphere, amazing environment. And going on the road to play the school that won it all, you felt like a little celebrity. Everyone knew why you were in town. Everyone knew why you were there. You felt like a little celebrity, you know. Very, very fun experience. I tell guys all the time, like, you know, the NCAA tournament is something you want to experience. Something every basketball player should experience is the NCAA tournament. Definitely. We was eating at restaurants we never thought we'd be eating at. We were eating at. We were, you know, traveling, meeting on different people, meeting on different, going to different places, and man, it was really fun, man. And to you know, to the few guys that I did, you know, make close friendships with on the team, um, it was very, very rewarding and fulfilling to experience that with those guys. One night in particular, we were on the road and we were at a hotel, and there was like a military ball going on downstairs in the banquet room. You know how hotels be having like those ballrooms? And there was like a military ball going on, yo. And long story short, you know how like you know how team on road trips teammates be chilling in each other's rooms, you know, before they go to bed, whatever, playing the game, whatever. And I guess before one of our teammates left our room that night, they didn't close our door all the way or something. That's what I'm assuming. And I cannot make this story up. I told the whole team and my coaches this story the next day, and no lie, like I think I think it was this story, bro. This was one of the things I think that influenced Coach, because at the end of that year, Coach gave me a community service award, bro, at the you know team banquet at the end of the season. Furthest thing from my mind, furthest thing I'm sure from everyone's mind. You should have saw the way people were looking at me as I was walking up there to get this award, bro. Blew everyone's mind, blew my mind. Couldn't believe it. And what was more rewarding, I'll get back to the story in a second. Sorry. What was more rewarding was just the words that he was using to describe who he was giving this award to, furthest thing from my mind. And when he mentioned my name, it really was a very sincere, powerful, unforgettable moment in my life for sure. But anyway, I think it was this story was one of the things I think that influenced him to even make the award, create the award, and give the award to me, whatever. So there's a military ball going on. Like I said, I think we had teammates in my room. I had passed out. I think I was one of the first ones to fall asleep that night in that hotel room while my teammates were chilling, whatever. And whoever left our room that night, I don't think they closed the door all the way or made sure it shut. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no other way that the wife, I kid you not. I kid you not. Everything I'm about to tell y'all right now, I kid you not. And this is why, and the only reason why I'm telling y'all this story is because all the young guys watching this that are about to go play ball, about to go, or will go be playing college ball, whatever, and y'all are on road trips, you have to be careful. You have to be safe. You have to be watchful. You have to be aware. Because imagine that there weren't cameras, and imagine if this just went left, and she just like said something crazy, right? No lie. I thought I was in the movies. Like, y'all just saw that movie Deliverance and shit. I thought I was dreaming a nightmare, bro, when this shit happened. I felt the bottom of my blanket lift up. Now, I'm gonna pause you right there because we just saw the movie Deliverance, right? When I tell you, and I had two teammates. It was three teammates to a room that night because we had a freshman. So the freshman slept on a cot and the upperclassmen slept on the beds. All right. I thought, because I knew for a fact my teammates were knocked out because I heard them snoring and sleeping. You know what I'm saying? When I cracked my eye, because I'm a light sleeper anyway. So when I felt the bottom of my blanket lifting up, I could have, I thought it was one of my teammates joking around, trying to play a trick or whatever. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna act like, I was thinking to myself, I'm gonna act like I'm still asleep. I'm gonna act like I'm still asleep. And as soon as I'm gonna get their ass. That's what I'm thinking, right? When that blanket lifted up, and I felt these soft ass hands, I felt these soft ass, gentle ass hands brush by my leg. First thing in my mind, I'm like, oh shit, one of the girl team, because the girls team traveled with us too. They played on the first, and then we played, so we all traveled together. I'm like, one of the girls from the girls team snuck in the room, and she's trying to get a little piece. Bet. I sat up. I'm like, you know what I'm saying, smiling and shit. Like, who is this? Yo, when I tell you, all I seen was these eyes looking at me from like underneath the blanket. I'm like, yo, I sat up like this. Like, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Kid you not. This naked white woman, this naked redheaded white woman was in my bed, bro. Naked. And I did not recognize her. I'm like, whoa, this is not one of the this is not one of the girls from the what I'm saying, from the girls team. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? Yo, I'm like, yo, what the hell? What is going on? What is wrong? Like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? I started sliding away from that shit. I'm like, oh, yo. And I'm like trying to talk loud so my teammate can wake his ass up. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, the freshman that's sleeping on the cot, this dude slept through this whole ordeal. I don't understand. I don't know how his ass stayed asleep. I think it was sleep with his boxers, his Timbs, and a tank top on, knocked out. I'm like, yo, and a do rag. Slept through this whole ordeal. So boom, my upperclassman teammate, and one of my good friends to this day, he jumps up. His big crazy ass, he jumps up because he sees what, like, when he looks over, his first thought, and this is so funny because hearing his side of the story, he was also faking sleep once he, like, because he thought I had a girl over, and he was trying to fake sleep just to mind his business. He said that's what he thought was going on, or else he would have been jumped up. You know what I'm saying? But as he laid there and he overheard like what was being said, then that's when he jumped up. to this day, I remember how he jumped up, looking all crazy. His hair was all flipped up, and he's like, "Oh, whoa, what's going on? What's going on?" And I'm just like, hey, "Yeah." So by this time, I had got up and went to my bag, and I had got her some just like sweatpants and a t-shirt to put on because she was freaking naked. She was butt ass naked, yo. So I give her clothes, we wrap her up in a blanket, and she's just sitting there like all scared and lonely. By this time, we call downstairs to the lobby asking them, so what the deal is. Her room apparently was right next to our room. Her and her husband's room was apparently right next door to our room. And she, for whatever reason, got up in the middle of the night and went to use the bathroom. Came out the bathroom and apparently went. I don't know how she went out the front door of her room from the bathroom, but went into our room thinking it was her room. Crawled in the bed with me, thinking she was crawling in the bed with her husband. Very soon and quickly realized that was not the case, you know, once she felt the long legs. And she so we called down to the lobby and we're just like explaining the story, and I'm just like, look, man, I'm just gonna come down there. So I go down to the lobby and let them know what she was telling me and what her husband's name was. And she said that they were at the ball and they got, they want, well, she said that he had one too many, and that's why when we was trying to call him, he wasn't answering the phone. And just a crazy mess, man. It was crazy. So we're able to get the guy at down the receptionist to get her into her room peacefully, soundfully, quietly, and that's that. Apparently, her husband was in the room the whole time, just passed out drunk. That's why he wasn't answering the phone. Oh my goodness. So the next morning, here comes her husband knocking on our door. And he has my clothes folded up and a $20 bill or $50 bill. It's one of the two. And he's just like, "Hey, thanks for that, man. Sorry about that." No lie, the next day at breakfast, I and if it wasn't for my teammates, well, my one awake teammate, no one would have believed me and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it wasn't for my teammate, that whole story would have been unbelievable to whoever. So thank God my teammate was there to witness, you know, most of everything. You know what I'm saying? Yo, when I tell you that was the most bizarre, craziest experiences I've ever had in my life, bro. And probably one of my worst nightmares. Waking up in the bed with a naked white woman and you don't know how she got there and shit. Nigga, if that was 1960 and shit, they would have hung my ass from my ankles upside down and shit. Anyway, I really truly believe it was that one. That story was one of the reasons why Coach created that award, gave that award to me, etc. It was very painful losing. I hated losing late in the season, big games. We lost the conference championship game to our rivals in a really, big game. And that was hard to accept. And then making the tournament, making the NCAA tournament, and winning the playing host game was big, not only for our morale, but big for the town, big for the school, big for us. Definitely gave us confidence, but man, we just weren't together by that time, man. I feel like we were a real divided unit by that second round of the NCAA tournament. By that time, we were a very divided unit off the court, and it definitely showed and reflected itself on the court for sure. You know, but that experience at that point of my basketball career and it taught me a lot and it showed me a lot on what winning looks like, what true winning looks like, what true brotherhood can be like. Um, and like I'm not here to bash anyone or tear anyone down or show any animosity for anyone. No, man. I'm simply trying to tell you exactly how it was and what it was like and just the experiences I had and with dealing with people, man, and having to, like I said, coexist and adjust and deal with certain personalities, certain energies, man, and it just wasn't always easy, you know, to exist when people are feeling a certain way about you for whatever reason, you know. I had a teacher one time. I had a writing class, and we had to like do a project or whatever. And my project was I was gonna do a fake documentary on a jailbird who was fresh out, and that jailbird was one of my teammates. That he was just playing the role, saying like he was playing and acting out the character of being a someone who just got fresh out, who was fresh out, and I was just pretty much, we were just doing different skits in different parts of the on different parts of campus and just doing, different videos. And I think he played the freaking part so well that it actually made her uncomfortable. And she contacted our coach, man. She told our coach about it, told my coach about it, and like my coach actually thought it was genius. He thought it was very creative, you know what I'm saying? But she just, thought it was inappropriate and it was, I think at the end of the documentary, I had him like stealing my phone or stealing the camera, so the very camera I was using to shoot the documentary, I had him stealing it at the end of it. Crazy, man, just crazy, crazy, crazy. And it's like, these guys you never forget. You know what I'm saying? These guys you never forget, but you know, life happens and people move on and fall out of contact, I guess. And I think a lot of guys get lost in the relationships they're in with women. Um, I really do. I mean, it's like, hey, look, if you're happy and married, more power to you. I love that for you. But it just seems like a lot of guys are just kind of going through the motions and just not really happy and genuinely excited to be in that relationship or motivated to do anything that's going to better them or be better because all their focus is on that woman. But anyway, I don't know. That's just a topic for another discussion and whole nother topic, whole nother video. But I say all that to say though, to all the young guys that are about to go play ball, about to go to college, or even start high school ball, it's like just stay focused. You see how Travis Hunter talks about no party and no drinking, no nothing, just going home, fishing, playing his video game, and staying to himself. That's the best way to be. Find a hobby. You know what I'm saying? Even like find something outside of video games as a hobby that's gonna keep your mind occupied and keep your mind busy and not on women, bro. There's so much like women are not going anywhere. You'll be able to have sex until you're like 80 years old. On the right exercise regimen, the right diet, and the right herbs and oils, you'll literally have a sex life until you're 80 years old. Think about that. So you don't have to rush or waste yourself or your time, energy, and efforts on that right now because it's not going anywhere. So it's like if you know that, if you know it's not going nowhere, you may as well focus your time, energy, money, and everything else on what it is, whatever it is you want to do in life. Simple, and use whatever avenue and path and way you know that's not gonna land you dead or in jail to get there. Simple. Yo, I love y'all. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be back for volume 4 soon and shed more light on my experiences from middle school all the way up until college, and just continue to share my stories and experiences to hopefully help someone learn and make the best decision for themselves and their future and their families. Simple. God bless. Stay safe. Peace.